guys, it's Mimi and Poppy for another episode of Studio Time. And Poppy's here to say hello, even though you can barely see his eyes because he's so shaggy at the moment. You know, monkey, so shaggy, look at him. He's just perfectly loving being in front of the camera, being held up like this. But I'll try not to put any paint on his head this time because he's got a bit of purple in his ear. So I'll try to avoid that this time. Anyway, I'll let him go because I'm sure he doesn't want to be hogging the camera. But anyway, I just wanted to say hi. I'm in the studio today and thinking of doing another journal spread in my little moleskin. I've just received some new paints, which are fluorescent paints from the Pebeo brand. I just got them from Amazon. I've got the pink, the yellow and the orange. And strangely enough, I couldn't find a green in that brand, so I got something that was as close as possible, which is a cadmium green hue, it's called, but it kind of looks fluorescent anyway, so I'll may do something trying those. And I've also been having a go at carving stamps, so maybe I'll use some of my own carved stamps in this journal spread. I actually only started carving yesterday for the first time, so don't expect anything fancy. But it's good to have the freedom just to create something that you wouldn't find in a shop. So it's been quite fun. And anyway, let's have a go. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do just yet, but hopefully we'll get inspired together as we go along this video. Alright, I'm all cozy here at my desk. I've got the heater on next to me because it's starting to get a little cold down here in Sydney in Australia. And little doggy Poppy's under the desk next to the heater, pretty happy. I think he's going to leave me alone this time. So I've already gessoed my pages in my little moleskin art journal, and well, I'm not too sure what to do yet. I haven't used these fluorescent paints before, but they look like a lot of fun, so maybe I'll just start by putting a few patches, random patches on these gessoed pages and see how the colors look and feel on paper. Well, it's definitely fluorescent. Just gonna do little patches and now let's do something in black with one of the stamps that I created yesterday. Actually, I made this one this morning, just hand carved it out of this special rubber. This is another one I made before, or just yesterday actually, and this one last night just watching TV. So I'm thinking let's do some slightly bolder marks with this black. It's actually a dark grey ink, and I'm using the Stays On ink pad. See how that looks. I'll put a few across the page. This is my first time using it. Pretty cool. Love that. I'm going to do another one on the other side to get a little bit of symmetry on my two pages here. And here's the other imprint for another time. Just to get rid of most of the ink. And I'm still going to clean that up a little bit. So the time that I spent last night carving this, maybe, I don't know how long it took. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm not really following any particular technique. So, but I probably took at least an hour and a half, possibly even. So that was worth the time. And since I was just keeping an eye on TV anyway, and there's never anything interesting on TV here, that was time well spent. Pleased with that. I could continue the black on here, or maybe I'll just try my other stamp. So this is like a sort of a circle with a leaf inside, a bit of a sort of abstract kind of design. I wasn't aiming for anything too fancy, but I think it'll be quite effective to have that once it's printed. So I'm going to use the black again, or the dark grey I should say. Again, it's my first time using this one since I only carved it actually just this morning. Let's do one a bit off the page here. Cool. Yay, I love this. I know I'm biased, I'm sorry, but that looks cool bananas. Love it. Really love it. Alright, I'm just cleaning that up a little bit without putting too much paint on the actual stamp. And I've got another one, but I don't know, maybe I'll just wait a little bit. Shall I? Yeah, I'll wait a little bit and use it a bit later maybe. Let's add another color. How about something a little bit contrasting and not so bright? I'm thinking maybe a light blue. I'm just going to move my... I should have done that before, but move my trolley of paint nearby and not too close to the heater so it doesn't... I don't get any damage. So I'm thinking maybe this blue would be quite cool. It's called Colony Blue. And that's by the Jo Sania's brand. So I've got some gesso in this little container. The tub of gesso that I bought is a little bit bigger and a bit more awkward to get the stuff out of, so I just have a, you know, a smaller one that I could put my fingers in. It's a little bit more practical. I'm going to do some circles here. Yeah. And of course you can use your white gesso as a almost a white paint. So I've got a bit of gold. That's kind of cool. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. See there in the corner, and here, and a little bit on this green here. If you can't see it, never mind. You'll just have to trust me. All right. Much dry, so I like the effect that that I got here, a bit of texture in the corner here, this area here, and here's funky lines. So next I think I'm going to continue adding a black element on top of that. As you can see, the white has helped me toned down the background, which was very busy and bright before. So that's sort of toned down the whole thing, which is good. I'm happy with that so far. And I'm thinking of using that stamp I had before, which is this one that I handmade, and bringing it back, that design a little bit with the dark grey ink, just because it feels good having this sort of organic element on the page. I'm gonna place it somewhere else on top of this grungy, messy background. I find that it contrasts quite well. Well, I didn't do much here, so I was a little bit busy already. Messy to me. I like it, but I think nothing stands out too much. I think it needs some stronger elements somehow on this page. So I'm gonna let this dry and have a little think about it, and I'll be right back with hopefully something of interest. Wish me luck. Another way I like to add a little texture really easily, and also some of that metallic gold that I love, is just to use the ink pad itself as a stamp and just going over my page in random patches. That gives me a few thin lines as I go along. Make sure that your page is totally dry, otherwise you'll have paint on your pad, which is not a good thing. But I do have those, I do like those lines I get from it. And depending on the pressure you're using, you can add more ink in areas and less in others. This helps unifying the whole page too. I'll show you what it looks like if the camera picks it up. I'll come close. So I don't know if you can see some of these lines and the gold. Come a little bit closer. It's a bit hard to pick it up, but it works. And it's subtle at the same time, but depending on how you look at it, you know, you'll see different things popping out of the page, which is cool. And I think the last step I'm going to do is to add some big white dots. I don't want to go with little white dots like I normally do, because this is more of a sort of a chunky, grungy kind of page. You don't want the things to be too pretty and detailed. to a point, but not too, you know, flourished, if that's a word. Probably not, but I can make up my own, that's all right. So I'm going to use, actually something I haven't tried it, but I've seen people do, is just to use the eraser from the end of your pencil as a little stamp, and that seems to work quite well. So I'm going to dip that in white paint and make some little dots. Happy little dots. Actually, that works great. Once we get some uniform little circles. Not too much paint, but it does give you a little texture if you have quite a bit on there, so that's all right. And I think I'm going to stop for now, although I do feel like this would be a good place to put a quote or a sentiment of some sort. I'm not quite sure yet, so I'm gonna let this dry and have a little think about it, because I think it'll just actually would be perfect for this page. Be back in a sec. Well, what I was thinking of my next and hopefully final step, the night started falling, so I had to put the lights on, so I apologize for any shadows you might see on my pages and of my head because of the light behind me. But anyway, so I was looking for an inspiring quote, and I went to one of my Pinterest boards where I collect some words that I find inspiring, and decided to go with a quote that says, "Do it with passion or not at all," because, well, it kind of reflects part of the journey that I took on this page of creating something, well, first that I wasn't that comfortable with to start, but that I did anyway until I felt happy. And art is a passion that anyone can develop, and I hope that by watching this video, it's inspiring you and also making it develop in you, if that makes sense. Just like it develops in me and in the process that I'm showing you today. And but anyway, so if you're interested in finding a few quotes or learning about some of the ones that I like that may also inspire you, feel free to go to pinterest.com, and you can find me there under the username Mimi Bondi. So that's really easy. You'll find all the boards that I've got on there. I've got a lot of mixed media inspiration, abstract art as well, and lots of whimsical girls and whimsical flowers and all sorts of things that are really fun and colorful and positive, as always. You know, that's my message. So just come back to the quote, and to finish the page, I'm going to use some gesso to mask some areas where I'm going to write the quote. And just again going with the grungy look and the messy style, I'm gonna just rub it on there basically. I know it looks messy, but we'll see how we go. So I think I'm gonna do it with passion quite big here, and not at all down there. So this is going to give me a nice sort of little background for my words to be easily readable, as the page is quite busy and quite colourful. So I'm going to dry this off as usual and come back to write it. So I could use an alphabet stamp to do this, which would give me a very neat result, but you know, grungy, messy, free-flowing is the key here. So I'm going to do it with a paintbrush. That way that will be a lot more difficult to control, and it will give me a lot more of an organic result, I guess. So I'm going to go with a fine tip, and I'm going to use the liquid acrylic I had before, but I'm going to put in a little bowl, a little bit easier than dipping in there because I can't really see how much I've got left inside at the bottom now. So I'm going to pour a little bit here. That'll be a lot easier to write, and ink would do just fine as well here. But regular acrylic wouldn't work, it's just too thick. So you need something quite liquid. So remember the quote was, do it with passion or not at all. I'm going to put You can see I'm running out a little bit of space there. That happens quite often actually when I do this. So I'm going to put the... Actually, I may just fit it in, that's alright. I thought I might need to add more white gesso behind, but that's alright. It's still readable. Alright, so I'm gonna pour the extra paint I've got in here back in the bottle. No need to waste it, especially when products are not the cheapest things on the market. Put as much back as I can. And you know what? I think I'm finished with this. Yeah, I think I'm done. And I make a mess while I'm saying this. I think I'm done with this. I'm going to clean my hands properly before I pick up my journal and just make it messier than it needs to be, just so I can show you the final results. As you can see, I started with those fluorescent paints, but there's not that much of them left on this page. Maybe I didn't like them as much as I thought I would. I think they just work a little bit better in very small highlights, not so much, you know, in big patches or big blobs of them. I think it's cool as a subtle effect. I could have probably added a little bit more. Maybe I still can. If you're still watching, I mean, congratulations and thank you so much for still being here with me. I'll just add some tiny details here. I think it looks good like that, which is subtle, you know. That'll be my lesson for today. And maybe for you too if you haven't tried them yet. And I think those tubes of paint are going to last me a long time. Because if I'm only using this much, tiny bits, then yeah, they're going to last me a while. Which is a good thing. From memory, I got these from Amazon. From memory, they're about $10-11 US. No, first in Australian dollars, I think probably about 13-ish dollars, something like that. 13 Aussie dollars. Yes, I think this is the key, is just to use them in tiny dots here and there. Just tiny highlight. Feel much happier that way, I think. I do like this pink, the fluorescent pink, that looks good. And do you like the yellow as well? The orange, not as much, I think. And the green's pretty cool too. Just add a few more. You can tell I just can't stop. Just don't want to let you go, that's why. Can't believe you've come this far. You must be motivated, guys. Thank you, and I hope this is really, this is giving you some inspiration and it's doing something positive out there. One last bit, I promise. There. And dot here. Wipe my finger and I swear I'm not touching it anymore. Okay, this is it. I'm done. Right. There you go. This is the final page. And I'm actually really happy with it. It looks a little bit childish and a bit crazy, but you can feel the joy and the passion in there. It's all positive. I'll come a little bit closer to show you. The side and the right side. Try to show you some of the cool gold metallic effect that we've got going on here. Subtle, but it is there. There you can see it a little bit more. There you go. I think you've seen enough of me or heard enough of me for today. So I'm kind of finished here. And I wish you an awesome day and make sure that you do live that day with passion. I wouldn't say don't live it at all because that would be a bit weird, but just be free and carefree and love your life. See you guys until next video. Bye.